Hi, welcome to Channel 4 News. I'm Ian.
I'm Sydney.
And I'm Hannah.
And we're here to talk to you about a few problems that we see in our society about racism. So racism and structural barriers for people of color are still relevant today. This is evident within the education system, which will be discussed in today's program. In order to change the problem, we have to see the problem. Before we begin, we will clarify the definitions of some terms that are commonly used or misused. A stereotype is a fixed, overgeneralized belief about a particular group or class of people. A stereotype threat is a situational predicament in which people are or feel themselves to be at risk of confirming negative stereotypes about their social group. Equity is providing everyone an equal starting point to get to the same opportunities, while equality is having access available for the same opportunities. Racism is prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against someone of a different race based on the belief that one's own race is superior.
In our scenario, we have two girls, one white and one of color. Both girls regularly attend school and have stable home lives, as you can see. Welcome back to Channel 4 News. We will discuss 4 components of racism that are evident in the education system in the U.S. The previous clip is a scenario that we have set up to better explain each of our topics. Students can be influenced by the ideas and perceptions of those around them. Stereotypes have a large role in making up these perceptions. These oversimplified images and ideas can be positive or negative, but too often students of color are viewed negatively in a learning environment. This does not just affect the student's attitude about school, but it goes deeper to affect their academic performance. A study conducted by C.M. Steele and J. Aronson looked into the effect of stereotype threat on both black and white students with equal SAT scores. They broke the students up into 4 groups. Some were told the test was to measure their verbal ability, thereby initiating the stereotype threat, while others were told it was a problem-solving test. When students thought the test could reveal their academic ability, the black students scored worse than the white students. But when there was no stereotype in the air, and thereby no stereotype threat, their identities weren't on the line and black students scored the same as white students. Students should be eager and feel capable of learning regardless of their race, but in environments where they feel that their identity is being determined by a stereotype, the influence on the stereotype will be present.
Both girls have been given overgeneralized stereotypes that supposedly define them. The white girl is depicted as intelligent, driven, and has a plan for her future, usually involving college and a career. On the opposite side, the girl of color is often stereotyped as unintelligent, lazy, and apathetic about the future. Both of these stereotypes subconsciously affect their academic performance, especially due to the influence of teachers, peers, and authority.
Advanced placement or college preparatory classes are becoming a widely available resource for high school students. It would only make sense to provide 2 students with equal grades, equal opportunities for these college preparatory classes. However, more and more we are seeing this isn't the case. College-bound students need these classes as a resource to get a feel for the rigor of college classes, ensuring they will succeed academically their freshman year and beyond. On top of this, having a pass-fail or scoring well enough on an AP exam can influence a student's acceptance to a school. A study done by J. Oakes and J. Gittin in their book Matchmaking: The Dynamics of High School Tracking states that black and Latino students with high grades and high test scores are less often tracked into honors or AP classes than their white classmates with similar credentials. The study goes on to say that the schools with a higher percentage of students of color offer fewer of these college prep classes than schools with predominantly white students. With these 2 facts combined, they conclude minorities are less likely to gain admission to college. In a society of equal opportunity, knowing this kind of threatens our view of a just education system. After this next demonstration, we'll send it off to Kirsty in the field.
For instance, if the white girl excels in math, she is much more likely to be placed in advanced math. Due to the color of her skin, she is deemed capable. However, if the girl of color excels equally in math, she is less likely to be placed in an advanced class because she is deemed incapable. This will allow the white girl to have the tools to prepare for college, but leaves the girl of color unprepared.
Hi guys, it's so great to be out here in the field tonight in this wonderful Minnesota weather. Tonight I'm going to talk about role models and how they're portrayed in today's society. A lot of the times we see people of color portrayed as bad role models in today's society compared to people of white color. And we've noticed, especially in the news lately, how people of color have been in news articles about being shot and how they're not being treated right. And you don't really see a lot of that with people that are white in our today's society. So it's really important that we, as people that are white, are really portraying them as not being bad instead of as bad role models. Another thing that is really important for people of color to remember is that there are good role models out there. They're just not in the media, which is really unfortunate because there should be more in the media. But some people who are in the media and in the news today are people like our president's family and some business people. But some negative role models would be like rappers and stuff. And that's all we really get to see. We don't really get to see the doctors and the lawyers like we do as white people in society. So we need to start putting people of color in the news as good role models. Back to you guys.
The white girl has positive role models that are in powerful positions in society. The girl of color does not have as many role models that are in prominent positions in school or business.
We're all aware of the Brown versus Board of Education situation, where segregation in public schools was declared a violation of the 14th Amendment. However, fast forward 60 years and we can still see the same inequality and injustice that once occurred. There are fewer resources available to schools in the inner city where there's substantially higher minority, much of which is due to white businesses moving toward the suburbs. It has been proven through a study done in 2012 by the Center of American Progress that more money is spent on schools where white is the majority, with schools that are 90% or more white receiving an average of $733 more per person. Another study done by the U.S. Department of Education showed that students of color get unequal course offerings. 1/4 of schools with majority Black and Latino enrollments do not offer Algebra 2, and 1/3 of those schools don't offer chemistry. Equal and equitable education opportunity for each and every child in America is not happening under our current education and accountability system, which is leaving millions of low-income students and students of color behind. Chief Justice Earl Warren wrote these now famous words, "In the field of public education, the doctrine of separate but equal has no place." 60 years later, most, though not all, American schools are as segregated as they have ever been.
As far as academic resources go, the white person will be given more money and course options than the person of color. This provides unequal opportunity between the two.